All right. So, welcome everybody. I am Trish Pellin and I am talking to Ernest Frost. His topic at the Sacred Summit is entities, spirits, and attachments. So, Ernest, tell me, how did you get into that topic? What's your experience?
I really didn't believe a lot in these things till sometime I had an antique and art business, and I had a very uncomfortable experience
Yeah.
after I bought a piece of furniture, and all sort of weird things started happening in the shop, which I didn't want to believe. But
Yeah.
it ended up in the end where I had to get some help from highly spiritual warfare people
Hmm.
to make my art and antique shop work again, and that my workers came back again.
Oh,
And then I
wow.
realized there's more to this earth than we can actually see and what we experience every day. And after I started studying NLP and hypnosis, one time I had a client who was sent to me by the police.
Oh,
And during the session, strange things happened. And in that session, I realized perhaps we're working with something more here than just a normal hypnosis session.
yeah.
And then I did advanced hypnosis courses, and then I learned that there are more. Sometimes there are extra parts or entities behind the person's own mind, which can have influence in the person's life. And that's why I got onto that. And during the years, I've realized that sometimes when you work with clients, when there's really malfunctional behavior or extreme drugs and alcohol, you have to have different techniques and be open in my own mind and belief to something more than just what you see in the room.
Hmm.
That's
And
how that happened.
and that must have been a real eye opener for you because like you said, oh well, it's things I didn't want to believe in, and then all of a sudden it's like it's happening right in front of you. How'd that make
Yeah.
you feel?
Well, I realized that whether I want to believe in it and my beliefs doesn't really matter. It's like it's there. And I have to deal with that and have techniques and open my mind and my beliefs, change my attitude, expand my way of, as you say, looking at stuff. It's not about me, it's about helping the client. And if there's more going on, then I better come online and do what needs to be done. And if I
Yes.
don't, then I don't see the clients. So it was uncomfortable, and especially with colleagues and friends who sort
Mhm.
of dismissed it and laughed at it. But eventually, that did help to get clients back into this life and back into
Yeah.
their own lives.
Yeah, yeah. Because and it doesn't matter whether we believe in it or not, it's happening all around us. And
Yeah.
it's kind of like the hanging man in the tarot cards. You've got to learn to go with the flow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
So,
right.
so you're going to be talking about how to use hypnosis for clearing and detachments and things like that. How do you know that a client has this attachment?
In hypnosis or NLP or even just psychology, when we work with parts, different parts of the person, and ego state therapy,
Yes.
sometimes when you work with the part, I ask the question, are you part of the client's own unconscious mind or not? And I get the client's unconscious mind to get a yes or a no signal. Now, beforehand, usually when you work with a client, when there's multiple suicide attempts, severely destructive behavior,
Yeah.
um, extreme drug and alcohol use over many years, people losing consciousness often, that's usually an indicator already that there might be an extra part present,
Yeah.
which is not the client's own unconscious part. And when you get a no signal, I start talking to the part and ask, "Who are you? How did you get in the client's life?" And then help the part to move on. I
Yeah.
don't prepare a client for that. For some
Yeah.
clients, it
We
might be
don't want to
scary and it
pre-suggest or
might sort
anything.
of spoil the whole session. I just in the hypnosis session, you can actually directly speak to the part,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then let the part go.
Unbelievable. When I very first started, when I was doing some practice, I actually did a regression session with a client, and she regressed right to back to when she was 6 years old, and her voice changed, and she changed into like this tiny little girl, and and it was really creepy, and I was just starting out in my career, and I had no idea what the fuck to do. Like I was like,
Yeah,
what the fuck? Like, they don't teach you this in school. And
No.
then when she came back into the room, I said to her, I just, the whole like, how are you feeling? Blah, blah, blah. And she just went, no, I don't remember anything. And I was like, well, let's keep it that way. And then fast forward a couple of weeks and she sends me a message and she goes, oh, look, I'm just really curious. When I went back in time, did I go back to when I was really young? And I said, yes, you were really young. She goes, I just have this feeling it's not me. And what had worked out, as we had this discussion, it worked out that she'd gone back to when she was, say, 6 years old, but it wasn't her. It was some other entity that was really upset that her grandmother didn't come and visit her in hospital,
Yeah,
and
that's a beautiful example. That is
yeah,
exactly how these things happen. And
yeah,
because children are very susceptible, because their front lobes are not developed yet, they are very susceptible to these type of things.
yeah.
I can maybe just say that most of the time these entities are just people who have died and
Mm,
hasn't moved on and still hang around in the family. It often happens where someone dies in your arms and the child is present, it might attach to them.
yeah.
It's mainly just people who've died. I had one example where a doctor sent a client to me who jumped off through the window of a hospital and broke his leg on, I don't know, 20
Oh,
places and his hip. And like a year later, nothing has begin to heal. And like 4 or 5 security guards couldn't contain this client. And they did
wow.
know this session. It came out there is an extra entity, and this guy had a severe drug and alcohol use. Once we let go of that, it was like within 4 weeks, the leg for the first time started healing and started
Wow.
growing on. So it's even in body healing in that case where it didn't heal was because of something which wasn't part of him, a very angry person who died and attached to him, actually in the hospital.
Wow.
So,
Oh, you're giving me tingles. You're giving me tingles. That's
yeah.
unbelievable. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing your
Okay.
information with us, Ernest. And I honestly, I can't wait to attend your talk. I'm going to be sitting there quietly absorbing everything you say. I'm as keen as mustard. I really am. So thank you so much. And thank you, everybody who joined in. You can jump onto the link down below. It is free to join the Sacred Summit, or you can go VIP. Ernest is going to be there and it's going to be absolutely astronomical. So see you, everybody.